nearest and dearest arrive from Africa and the West Indies. They're my family. We've been joined together. They now carry the same name as me. So Mr. Modern Man, when I hear your casual racism, it stings. But before I carry on, I want to say a few things. As a kid, I grew up the only white girl in my class. Skipping rope in the playground to Shabba-Ranks tingling. Birthday parties dancing, the only white girl in the ring. My brown sisters would lovingly circle me and sing, and on Sundays Auntie B would bring homemade ginger beer, lemonade and plantain, rice and peas, African aunties sharing jollof and tasty cuisine. And as a young teen I'd go to bed with tights on my head, baffled in the morning, my European hair frizzy and unkempt, and oil would only make it too greasy. Anyway, all this to say in a kind of light-hearted way that my life is being enriched by your culture and your way. I honour you. And this is for everyone who deserves to hear a white British person say, please forgive me, it should have never been this way. This ain't a poem about guilt or pity, this is me sincerely saying forgive me. I ask for your forgiveness for what my ancestors did to you and to yours. 10,000 billion rights could never come close to righting these wrongs. I ask for your forgiveness for every drop of blood shed upon the African continent due to the white man exploiting and enslaving the people and the land, taking God's creation like it's his to be had, while Western white women were daintily clad in ivory, jewels, diamonds or the latest fad. And now genetically engineering, Mr. Agricultural Man, patenting seeds, your money-making plan. Local farmers rendered dependent, eating out of your hand. Filing lawsuits to windblows your product ever onto their land. You're now monopolising crops. Has the world gone mad? While Mr. Businessman is still evading his tax, locals lose out living in shacks. Tax evasion deprives the nation, holding them back from what they should have had. Illegal imports, locals left short. How long will you keep holding them back? Ducking and diving, greedy and conniving, the rich getting richer, acting like a go-getter, perverting justice in your well-versed letter. Come on, son, you were made for much better. When will you grow tired of diluting the truth? Put yourself in their shoes, stop and think for a few. As a kid, is this what you aspired to do? Love of money is the root. And still, one elephant killed every 26 minutes, blood diamonds traded in dodgy dealing business, involved from a distance or a first-hand witness is more to be considered than just the best interest of Western corporations and the comfort of consumerists. Let me remind you of nations where kids were enlisted, bought guns, sought diamonds and lost their precious lives for this. Mr. White Colonial Man, terrorising, colonising, one people, ethnic dividing, favouring the minority, inciting the majority, ID card distribution, then you up and leave. Creating a vacuum, well, someone has to lead. Oh, Rwanda, fighting for power, thousands macheted to death in 1 hour. Brother against brother, husbands against wives, holding you close as a mother. He heard your cries, he heard your screams. Justice will run down like waters, righteousness a mighty stream. But we didn't intervene. We left you alone on that day, ignoring your cries for help. Please do something! We delayed. Britain behaved far from great. Busy politicking, the clock ticking, we turned the other way. While a violent campaign spread through your country, kids and adults brutally slain. Red covered green Rwandan plains, around 1 million lives slaughtered in 100 days. Bill Clinton apologised in 1998, admitting if we'd done something, hundreds of thousands of lives could have been saved. It's too little too late. This ain't about blame, but we must learn from our mistakes. So much to bring to the table, we didn't even try. Out of sight and out of mind. Ladies and gents, Africa's largest modern genocide. It was decimation, that's 1 killed in every 10. Crudely speaking, it's the same number killed as on 9/11, every day for 3 months straight. Then multiply that death toll figure by 3 again. We've all heard of 9/11, but Tootsies and Hutus barely made British news, while our soap operas were commanding millions of views. Around 1 million died, but the genocide's airtime barely lasted for a few. Anyway, dinner's ready, I'm gonna go and eat my food. In the sobering light of day, all this to say, Rwanda, I can hear you, it should have never been this way. John Ruchihana, Rwanda's bishop, calling his nation to an attitude of forgiveness, breaking the cycle of revenge and bitterness. Hutus and Tutsis reconciled and really live in this. Some roads were long and take a time to fix, some miraculously restored in a matter of only minutes. Overcoming hatred and freeing resentment's prisoners, perpetrators and survivors, killers and their victims, unexpectedly finding togetherness in the midst of a pile of bones and mass graves of kids. What can we take on board from all this? Healing is channeled through the power to forgive. Not ignoring injustice, but forgiveness and antiseptic. If applied to wounds, I'm sure it can prevent it from allowing pain to spread and infect it, drawing out hatred, anger and resentment. Can we let today be a new day, showing the racist world that there is another way? Can good be produced, recycling centuries of waste? Can ancestral wounds be healed from deepest pain? May the power of forgiveness bring healing to penetrate your soul and the very land where the trauma was sustained. And this is for everyone who deserves to hear a white Brit say, please forgive me, it should have never been this way. May the burden now be lifted, no more a heavy weight. United Kingdom, you were made to be great. Beloved Africa, you were made to be great. Thank you.
That's amazing, man. Really amazing. And what I specifically like about that is the way that you're able to sort of see the interlinking between issues, and it's everything from the way that we perceive certain issues to the issues themselves, the personal relationships, and then also the sort of macro, like countries and country relationships as well. And of course you were able to tie in really well your personal experiences and the way that race has played a key role in your life to the way that it plays a role on the macro scale as well. And so, of course, your upbringing helped you to understand that, but was there a moment where things started to click for you, or has it always been something ingrained in you from the start?
That's a good question. I think I lived in a lot of ignorance for a long time because I'm white. I never had to put myself in the position of how it would feel to be in an ethnic minority, because I believe I've had a lot of opportunity and a lot of privilege, and then I guess my eyes began to be open more as I grew up with my best friend. Her name's Liana. Shout out to Liana. She's in America at the moment. She's not here, but yeah, she's my best friend, and we as teenagers we just have honest conversations, and I just from listening to her and her experiences, it began to shed me of this ignorance that I'd had for a long time. So for example, she was sort of saying, she's a singer, and she was saying to me that there are certain record labels where she wouldn't even have a chance of having her music released because predominantly it's white people that they sign. As a kid, she never would have aspired to be a ballerina because there were never black ballerinas around for her to look up to. And yeah, just listening to friends and hearing their pain and their like them encountering prejudice and stereotyping and racism, I guess just listening to them, it began to open my eyes. And then for me as a woman, I've experienced basically, if I had a, excuse me for speaking quite crudely, but if I had a penis, I know there's certain things I would have been able to do in my life that I haven't been able to do. So I feel like that is probably the closest, dare I say, comparison to how it must feel for some of my close friends who have not been able to do certain things because, yeah, they've not had the opportunity. I hope that answers your question.